Hey, everybody. Let's take a look at this interesting, shocking, yet insightful video. Now, we all know the story of Emmett Till and Carolyn Bryant. And we all know that new information was found, a warrant, what have you. Of course, Black women found it. And people have been searching for Carolyn Bryant, protesting, wanting her to be arrested, held accountable. But as you know, some things change, a lot of things don't change because she is protected. This system, of course, protects her, and they are not about to go after Meemaw like that on behalf of the BC. No, 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 no. They're not about to do that. She's old, sickly. She will not be held accountable. She will be able to live out her years, as best as she can. So this system, which is not shocking, of course, is going to protect her because this is what it basically does. Does it protect everybody? No. So we out here. Interesting, a little bit. Listen to this video. This man is spitting some facts, but I want you to see there is always a chocolate drop on spot for the WS. They don't have to worry. They can always count on a self-loathing chocolate drop. So here we go. And he'll be the one with the tattoo. And this man here is coming out with facts. It just shows you how other cultures operate. I did a video on Patreon about that on yesterday, about a video, how other cultures operate to protect themselves, to set a standard, and how in this culture, we have a lot of us, there's no standard.
Carolyn Bryant is almost 90 years old. She has cancer. She can barely move on her own. She can't even defend herself. And y'all begging the justice system to make sure that she spends the rest of her days behind bars. And y'all wonder why the world doesn't take us serious. Leave Carolyn Bryant alone.
The German government has now moved into their final phase of capturing and convicting all old Nazis who participated in the Holocaust. Nazis who are now 90 years old and older. That's right, over 100 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you played a big or small role, what your health is. Even if they have to drag you in the courtroom in a hospital bed attached to oxygen, you are going to have your day in court. But you think that Black people seeking justice be served against an old, sickly white woman who was an accomplice in the brutal execution of a Black boy is the reason that the world don't take us seriously. Ask yourself, if the United States government dealt with old Jim Crow era lynch mobs and picnickers the way the German government deals with decrepit old Nazis, how seriously do you think the world will take us then? We out here.
Carolyn Bryant is almost 90 years old. She has cancer. She can barely move on her own. She can't even defend herself. And y'all begging the justice system to make sure that she spends the rest of her days behind bars. And y'all wonder why the world doesn't take us.
And y'all wonder why the community is at the bottom like it is. Did this fool not know what happened to Emmett Till? So I had said before in a prior video, I said, I kid you not, I said, it shows you how, that's why when I hear about, some of the people saying, oh, I'm fighting white supremacy. Yeah, a lot of our people love it. Okay? A lot of them just love white skin, and that's them. This woman got the whole thing started. Okay? Major part of it. So you can just see by the fact that talking about the world doesn't take us seriously. Why are you worried about what the world thinks? They already know that you're the man at the bottom, and they see why, because this just shows you have no cultural love, no cultural respect for your own culture. You have none. You're devoid. What the other man said about the German government.
Leave Carolyn Bryant alone.
The German government has now moved into their final phase of capturing and convicting all old Nazis who participated in the Holocaust. Nazis who are now 90 years old and older. That's right, over 100 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you played a big or small role, what your health is. Even if they have to drag you in the courtroom in a hospital bed attached to oxygen, you are going to have your day in court. But you think that black people seeking justice be served against an old, sickly white woman who was an accomplice in the brutal execution of a black boy is the reason that the world don't take us seriously. Ask yourself, if the United States government dealt with old Jim Crow era lynch mobs and picnickers the way the German government deals with decrepit old Nazis, how seriously do you think the world would take us then? We out here.
Now, and
90 years old.
I will say this. We already know they would never do that. Of course not. Because guess what? That's part of the culture. Let bygones be bygones. Let it go. Don't worry about that. What happened to Jim Crow? Reparations. So what, you built this country under the threat of death? Let it go. But the country, the land, the wealth that was built, it's still here. Oh yeah, it's just circulating. It's just changing hands. Not going to the black hands that built it, your ancestors, but it's changing white hands. Let it go. But the land is still here. Land was stolen. People's lives, labor was stolen. Let it go. But the result of the labor has been passed down. Let it go. And something like this on the screen, along with a mini Mamie, you just gonna let it go and start all over. Then why can't they let that wealth go and start all over? See, this is how you come up with things. If you notice, things happen to black people, and it's like the other party hasn't even asked, and before you can count to 3, we got to forgive. Says who? Sometimes they haven't even asked you, because you know why they don't have to. You're gonna always found an inferior chocolate drop on the block. She has cancer, and this, looking at him, some I see him as a strong, hard black man. No, a lot of them. This head might be a thick milk dud looking head, but something is missing here. No cultural, racial pride. No, there's no standard. Treat us any kind of way, as long as you're white, it's all right. Let it go. Would they do it to you? The culture has no standards. When you have men that think like this here, this person, in my opinion, you have no standards. Just let it go. I bet if they asked him to send her some flowers, he probably would. I'll go get her some flowers. I might have to get the money out of my baby mama's purse. I'll send her some flowers and let her know we forgive. And she ain't even ask. To me, the first thing that comes to my mind, this lets you know the value that he places on whiteness. And he devalues his own. It does. That's the first thing that comes to mind, the value that he places on whiteness. The spirit of Carolyn Bryant is still here. Hello, we just call him Karen. Let it go. Have you noticed when some of these same dust buckets, a Karen will do something and they'll still be saying, ma'am, miss, why is you doing it, miss, ma'am? Ooh, but a black woman would have snatched your eye out. After all that he said, just let it go because she's old. Let it go.
Cancer. She can barely move on her own. She can't even defend herself. And y'all begging the justice system to make sure that she's...
Emmett Till couldn't defend himself. Obviously, you think with that mob that came after more than one, Emmett Till couldn't defend himself. Wow. And you wonder why I call them low vibrational, inferior men? No self-pride. They're really self-hating. And you're inferior not by the color of your skin, by your demented thinking process.
She spends the rest of her days behind bars. And y'all wonder why the world doesn't take us serious. Leave Carolyn Bryant alone.
Leave Carolyn Bryant alone. I wish you would leave black women alone. I wonder if he has any post about stop killing black women and children. Stop killing and shooting your baby mama in the stomach because you don't want to pay child support, knowing you're raggedy behind gonna only pay by $35 or $50. Oh, and one shot his baby. No, one shot the baby mama and the baby over $600. What the hell is that? $600 a month. What is that? Is that a side hustle you got going on? Where are those videos? I wonder if he has any videos about stop killing the black women in the community. Does he have any of those videos? Stop killing and assaulting the young girls, the children. Stop doing drive-by shootings in your neighborhood. But he's got one that says, leave Carolyn Bryant alone. That's why when certain things happen to these men, you're not going to find me getting all upset. I might do a video on it. Let Carolyn Bryant come save you. And if she could, I would not be surprised to wish to do the same thing she did years ago with Emmett Till. Then you wonder why things happen to them. This on the screen. All you got to do is put white skin up in front and they'll take a chance. And then they want you sisters to come caping for them. Where are the videos that says, leave black women alone, let us build, let us heal? Of all the things you want to talk about, leave Carolyn Bryant alone. I'm sure Emmett Till's mother wished that Carolyn Bryant and her husband and them other old goons, old racist, clannish goons, had left her son alone. You think? Leave Carolyn Bryant alone. If I didn't know any better, I wonder, is this a white person in blackface? But that chocolate drop head looking kind of original. Leave Carolyn Bryant alone. I'm sure Emmett Till's mother wished they left her son alone. Unbelievable. And this might be somebody's king. The same men, when they get money, they build wealth for other communities. But the man is gonna wake up. You'll see. Leave Carolyn Bryant alone. Again, the economy is going to get worse. I wish they would please leave black women alone and our money and our businesses. Come pick up your kid food and take care of them. Get the hell up out of our pockets. I wish you would leave black women alone. Let us be, because I can tell you we'll be thriving a lot more without thee. If you get away from this, you'd be surprised your life can go far. Your pocketbooks can go far. You can lose a lot of money and not be worried about it while you have a husband, the brother from another mother. He got you. I wish they would leave black women alone. Stay out of our purses, out of our lives. Let the sisters thrive. But you were, out of all the things to worry about, most uneducated, most incarcerated, and when they're on these juries, it's a whole lot of Carolyn Bryants. You already know it's going to be guilty. But this fool, leave Carolyn Bryant alone. Black women, you have to be very foolish to keep dealing with these kind of men. Leave these derelict, self-hating, chocolate drop, inferior thinking, low vibrational men alone, because a life you save might be your own. And I'm out.